Hi, I'm Ashley Atwood with Sunshine Hill Properties, and I've helped over 70 hopeful homeowners build their bridge from renting to home ownership. Now I'm here to give you the tools you need to achieve your dream of becoming a homeowner. This is the How to Be a Homeowner podcast. Hello, everybody. Welcome to How to Be a Homeowner. I am Ashley Atwood, and we are sponsored by Sunshine Hill Properties. Today, we're doing a roofing episode with Miss Valorie Miller. She is the Vice President of the Residential Division with JBS Roofing. I'm very excited to have her. She was one of the very first people to welcome me into the business community here in Phoenix, Arizona. I don't know if you remember that.
I do remember that.
But I came into this new meeting and I was like, I don't know where I am. I don't know anybody. Yeah. And she was so welcoming. And so I'm very excited to have her on the show. Valorie grew up in the roofing industry. Her father started JBS Roofing in 1982. That's the year after I was born.
And that's payback for all the times I used to tell customers that. They tell me, I'm like, oh, I wasn't even born then.
1982. Yeah. And she's been working there full time for 18 years. She started in re-roofing sales, moved to the new construction commercial sales in 2011. Yeah, that's right. 2011, that's how you say that. And she became vice president when she restarted the residential division. She's currently the chair for the National Women in Roofing Arizona chapter, and she sits on the board for the Western States Roofing Contractors Association.
That's a mouthful, huh?
As vice president. Yeah, so you're very familiar with that vice president title.
Yeah, that's new. Yes, but yeah. Yes.
What does JBS stand for?
Jim Brown and Sons Roofing.
Okay, so Jim Brown's dad.
So Jim Brown is my grandfather.
Okay.
Yes. So they named it, my dad started the company in 1982. They named it after my grandfather. He worked with them too at the time. But because he taught them all the trade, that they named the company.
So it's a family business.
Yes.
Handed down through the generations.
Yes.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
You don't have that too much these days.
No. And I get that a lot, that it's hard, especially when you get to the third generation. Like it's hard enough to transition to the second generation, but then the third generation.
You have to have somebody that's passionate about it still.
Yeah.
And so it's
and I think see the struggle too. And you don't take it for granted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's incredible. I love namesakes and family and passing things down because it feels like it's tradition and it's in your blood, in your bones. Yeah. So I think it's pretty cool. Yeah. So welcome to the show. Thank you for being here and sharing all of your roofing knowledge with us. To me, as a homeowner, roofs are obviously needed, but they are so scary to me because I don't know much about
And I think that even if you do know about roofing, I think it's scary anyways because it's such a big deal. It's such an important part of your home. Right.
And so many people are, all you hear is horror stories of how much it costs to fix a roof. So you don't, without the knowledge of it, the knowledge will empower you to not be so afraid and to be able to take better care and all that kind of stuff. So I'm very excited to be here. Let's start with the why. That's my favorite question. Why do you do what you do other than it being a family thing? What gives you that flutter?
Okay. Well, to be honest, I never thought that I would be in the family business. I never thought that I would be in roofing. It was never talked about. It was never discussed. I did sort of just fall into it. And then the reason why I stayed or how I found my passion, I have always enjoyed helping customers. I've always been in some type of customer service business. And so this kind of gives me both avenues. I get to help customers understand what's going on. And roofing is like their own language. Roofers have their own language. People don't, and most people don't speak it. So I can help customers understand what's going on. And then on the other end, I get to help employees provide for their family. That's a huge responsibility. We have about 100 employees.
Wow.
So that's really what gets me up and gets me to go to work every day, is that if I don't do my job, they can't do their job. And then, they can't provide for their family. So
that river doesn't flow.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So would you say that's your favorite part of the roofing business?
I would say helping customers, honestly, is my educating them and helping them make the choice that's best for them. Even if we're not the best roofing company for them, helping them determine what is best for them and their needs, educating them, giving them the tools, and letting them make the decision.
Empowering them.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's my favorite part.
That's pretty cool. Yeah. And that's what I love the show, like what we're doing with How to Be a Homeowner, because I feel like we're going to be able to empower people, not just in our little circle here in Phoenix, but like worldwide.
And some people don't care, right? They have tons of money, they'll write a check, but that's not the norm.
That's not the norm. That's not my norm.
It's not my norm.
Although
either.
I wouldn't mind it.
Right?
I did not win the $1 billion lottery.
Me neither. Yeah. That's why we're here.
Yeah. Although I'd still fulfill my commitment with the show, but
yeah.
Would you? Yeah, well, I love doing this. I came from the entertainment business.
Yeah,
so
I remember from when I met you.
Yeah, so I was an actress for 10 years. So I enjoy being in front of the camera and talking to people. Okay. So this kind of stuff would be fun.
Yeah, it's not work.
I mean, it's work. I got to do stuff, but I would hire somebody else to do the production. If y'all could see the little setup that I've got here, like I'm doing everything with one hand. So
yeah, you're really good.
I would totally have somebody else doing all of that, but I would totally do the show still.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I get that.
I did not win the $1 billion. Somebody in Illinois did. Congratulations if you're listening.
Yeah. We're proud of you.
I'm happy.
We're happy for you. Yeah.
Okay. Let's take a quick break. Okay. We're going to come back and we're really going to dive into some roofing questions that I have. I gave her quite a quiz to prepare for the show. So let's come back and we'll dive right. For this break, I'm going to mention one of our incredible sponsors, HOA.com. Did y'all know that HOA actually stands for Homeowner Alliance? They are America's #1 referral network for professionals that service homeowners. That means their entire existence is to pair quality service professionals that service your house with you as the homeowner. Go to HOA.com/Ashley to find a service professional in your area. They serve the entire country from Austin to Denver to Phoenix to Tampa. You'll be able to find somebody in your area. Also, if you are a service professional and you want to partner with HOA.com, go to the same link, HOA.com/Ashley, and sign up today. All right, welcome back. Thanks for sitting through a little commercial for us. Let's jump right in because I've got a lot of questions and I don't want to hold everybody up for all day. I always like to start with first-time home buyers as they're shopping for a home. What are some key aspects that they can look for when they're looking at houses that could maybe predict that they're going to need a lot of work on their roof or not?
Sure. So the first thing that we look at when somebody calls us is we're looking for the age of the home. That's going to tell us if they've had their roof done or not, more than likely. So if the roof is if the home is 15 years or younger, more than likely it's the original roof. If it's 20 plus, then we're going to want to look for signs if the roof has been replaced because it's approaching. Then if we determined that it is the original roof, more than likely you're going to want to budget in the next 5 to 10 years, you're going to have to replace that roof.
Okay.
If we're looking for problems, we want to make sure that homeowner isn't trying to sell the house because they can't afford, because that does happen, right? They can't afford it and they're trying to hide it. We're looking for fresh paint to hide stains. We're walking around the eaves of the house and we're looking for rotted wood. And if you don't know if that's speaking jargon, the eaves of the home, not everybody understands what that is. Just go outside. Yep. And just walk around the perimeter of your home, look up and look for water stains, wood deterioration. That's a good sign that the home is leaking. You can always poke your head up into the attic and see if you see water stains. But mind you, that's not always the answer either, because people may have repaired it and it's no longer leaking, and maybe it was a problem and it's not now. But those are just small indicators. So we're looking at 15 years or younger, then it's probably the original roof. And we're looking at how long for a lifespan? 20, 25 years? So it depends on the home, right? So tract homes, typically you should get 20 years.
Okay.
That is, I would say, the average of a tract home, like a master build community, right? Not a custom home. Custom home should last a little bit longer. If you don't have a lot of debris or the roof is just the perfect situation, you can get 30 years out of it. But 20 is pretty average.
So if you have a lot of trees around your house, that's going to lessen the age, like the lifespan of your roof?
Typically, yes, because of the debris.
Because of debris.
As dirt falls, any type of debris, whether it is bird droppings, tree debris, dust, dirt. I mean, we've had cactuses growing on roofs before. It's just sort
interesting.
of, yes. Yeah. So any type of debris will lessen the age.
And what about the difference between, and I don't know what the different types of tile are called, but like I know shingles versus the like what looks like clay tiles.
Right, concrete tiles.
A lot in Arizona, we have those like concrete looking tiles.
Right.
Versus the flimsy looking.
Right. So there's shingles and there's tile. Those are our two main roofing systems in Arizona for steep slope roofs. Okay, or pitched roofs. Concrete tile you can walk on. You can break it, so you have to know where you're walking. It's not as fragile as clay tile. Clay tile, you can't walk on it. Clay and concrete tile last about the same. Okay, 20 to 30 years, depending on the underlayment.
Which I'm sure we'll go into later. Yeah, because I've heard you talk about the underlayment.
Shingles is your roof. There's nothing under. There is felt underneath it, but the shingle is your actual roof. So those last about 15 years.
Okay,
they can last 20, and they can last as little as 10. Shingles installation is a lot more important.
Okay.
Than on.
So that's going to be just easy things to look at when you're shopping with your realtor. You want to know how old the house is, and then when you go look at the house, look at the kind of shingles that there are. See, and I think the outside is probably the easiest because people paint their house all the time.
Right.
But I've seen that trim around the house that's super rotted before,
right.
And you go, well, that's an easy fix. Sure. But we need to make sure that it's not the roof damaged that's causing that.
Exactly. And on a shingle roof, it's a lot easier to tell what's going on with the roof than a tile. On tile roof, it's all hidden. The system is all hidden underneath the tiles. But a shingle roof, you can look at it and most of the time, unless it's a hidden detail somewhere in the roof, it's obvious that the roof needs to be replaced or it's going to last you a while.
Yeah. And your real estate agent can kind of help you. A lot of that stuff is on the listing sheets when they're going like what kind of tile is on the roof, etc., all of that stuff. So if you need some help determining that, when you're shopping for the home, because obviously you're not going to call an inspection for every house that you look at. Right. Like we go and we shop at different houses, but you're going to want to kind of assess when you're getting down to that, A or B,
right.
Looking at that kind of thing. So awesome. Thanks for those tips.
You're welcome.
So when we do pick a house, okay, so we've narrowed it down, we've picked A or B, we're going to get under contract. And then the next thing is the inspection report.
Yes.
Right. So the inspection report comes in. What are some things that we need to look at on the roofing section, because everything is in sections when you get your report, that should go big red flag, this is going to be expensive, or hey, this is something super easy, don't let it deter you from buying this house?
Yeah, absolutely. On a tile roof, it's so common to have a few cracked slip tiles, some mud balls. It's not a big deal. You can even, if you're okay with that, you can even have a handyman fix that and save you some money, especially if the roof is only 5 years old or so. Something that would be a red flag would be dried out curling underlayment. So if the inspector has said, you probably only have about 5 years left, we are going to recommend that you have a licensed roofing contractor look at it. He's typically has seen curling, dried out felt that's underneath it. Underneath there. Yeah.
So I've heard the word underlayment a lot.
Yeah.
Since I've moved to Arizona.
Yeah.
And the first time I heard it was with my solar installation. They were like, you're going to want to check your underlayment to make sure. And I think I called you. I was like, what does that mean?
Right. Yeah. One of those roofing jargons, right? Nobody knows what it is.
Yeah. So underlayment, any damage to the underlayment is something that's going to be an investment back into your home, a large investment. So you're going to want to make sure if you're buying a home that's either put into the negotiating contract or something along those lines, and make sure that you have room for those kind of renovations,
right?
Budget things.
Yes, absolutely.
Absolutely. If there are, and I think you kind of touched on this, when the inspector comes back and says, hey, I can't fully assess what is going on here. I just think you should have somebody more professional, like a roofer, come out and look at it to fully assess the extent of the damage here. Right. That's something that you call JBS Roofing up and say, hey, I need you to come take a look at this.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And then we'll come out and take a look at the roof. We'll look at the underlayment in multiple areas, not just in one. A lot of roofing contractors will pull it up in one area where they know more than likely you're going to see damage, and then they'll sell you the roof. We're going to look in multiple areas because maybe it's just one section needs to be redone and the rest of it is great. And again, that goes back into educating the homeowner. Maybe they would just want to do it all and get it over with. But, that is sometimes the situation. Just that one area gets dirt and debris and it's worn out, and we can just come in and replace that. So that's where somebody who does roofing every day is important, because we're going to be able to know what is going on with your roof, whether it's just a repair or a replacement. Right.
So the inspection report is, and you guys will probably hear this a lot in a lot of these episodes. It is like an overall touch point on, like, you buy a used car, they're like, we have the 20-point check or whatever. They're going to come in and they're going to assess as a whole. Hey, this looks good, but this part needs a more experienced person. So they're not going to be able to tell you exactly what's wrong or how much that repair is going to cost. They just know something is not good and you need to have it, checked by a professional. So make sure you do that. And again, talking to your real estate agent, if that report comes back and it has the word underlayment, for example, check the underlayment. We can negotiate more time for inspection. Be like, hey, this came back. We need another day or two to get a roofer to come out and fully assess that damage so that we know exactly how to negotiate your deal. And everybody's working for you.
Right. 100%.
Right? To make sure that you get the best deal on your house, or you're not buying something that's just going to be a money pit.
Yeah. Or surprise. Nobody likes surprises, so I think that's the goal in this, is so that you are educated and you're empowered and you're making the best decision for you. Yeah,
absolutely. And so that and next question is like, what are some things to negotiate? And I guess it's more a real estate agent question. But you can negotiate a credit to fix the repairs, or have the seller fix the repairs first. All of that kind of stuff.
I would say when it comes to your home, that you should negotiate the price into the contract, and then you handle it yourself, because it's your home, it's your investment. Nobody's going to care about it more than you do. True. And so the seller isn't always going to look. The seller's typically going to look for what's cheapest for them, and the buyer's going to look for what's the best value for them. Right.
Yeah. Right. That's a good point, because if you say, hey, seller, you got to fix this before I buy it, they're going to fix it as fast and as cheap as possible.
Exactly.
Because they're going to want their biggest return out of it.
And sometimes I have seen it where that's not the case, where the seller has let the buyer pick the contractor and then the seller has paid for it. But that's definitely not the norm. Usually it's a negotiation and then it's after the fact.
Yeah. Well, and then if you've had JBS Roofing come out, or somebody else in your local market, if you're in Philadelphia, come out and look at the roof. So say you've had, your roofer come out and finalize that inspection. They're going to be able to give you a quote on, hey, it's going to cost about this much money. Yep. This is exactly what we need to do. This is exactly how long it's going to take to do it. That way you're empowered when you come back into your negotiating price. You know exactly how much money you need to ask for, and time, because it might extend your closing if you want to make sure it's taken care of before closing or something like that. So just make sure you're communicating with your real estate agent and you're getting the right professionals to come out and give you advice. Okay, so now here's the thing that can really save you money, right? You've moved into your new home, and now you need to know how to take care of your roof. I've never thought of the idea that I need to take care of a roof. Like, a roof is just your roof, and then you have to replace it after so many years, and it is what it is. I didn't think about what are some tips to help maintain your roof, make it last longer, and make repairs less expensive.
Yeah, absolutely. The number one thing is the dirt and the debris. Vines are so cute and nice and pretty and right, but they grow up into your roof and into your underlayment, and now you're going to have a leak. So don't let your trees and your shrubs and your vines grow up onto your roof at all. Keep everything trimmed away, because that also is a bridge for roof rats, pigeons. If you have solar on your roof, make sure you get the pigeon proofing on there. Pigeons, birds, if they nest, get them off immediately. Do not allow them, don't allow them to home onto your roof, right?
Eggs and chicks are cute,
yes.
But you don't want them on your roof.
No, it really does. And it creates a bad environment. Then you get bugs and it's not good. Yeah. So just keep that dirt and that debris off. And that's the number one tip I can give anybody. If you have a flat roof, then there's other more maintenance items where you have to clean it off, pressure wash it, get it recoated. But for most of us, we have pitched roofs, and it's just keeping that dirt off of there.
Is there like a maintenance crew that we can hire to do stuff like that if we're scared to be on a roof?
Absolutely. Now, if it's pest remediation, like if you have pigeons and that's actually a hazard, like a hazmat. I don't know if that's the right word to use, but pigeon feces, is that the right word to use? Pigeon poo. We're just going to call it pigeon poo. It actually has like toxins in it, and it's harmful to breathe.
Really?
So you need somebody. I recommend a pigeon removal company to do that. And then once you get all that cleaned off, they will actually put the bird remediation stuff on there. As far as a roofing contractor is concerned, yes, we can come out and clean off your valleys. We can clean off your flat roofs. We can reseal any penetrations that might need to be resealed. If you have a pitched roof, typically you don't have to do that, but once every 5 to 10 years. I've been in my home for 4 years. I haven't done anything to my roof.
Okay. So there are some, like if you have broken branches on your roof, and if you're okay getting up there carefully, please, you can sweep them off.
Yes.
But if you're not comfortable with that, there are people that can come in and help you do that. It's just important that you do that.
Yes. Even if it's a handyman.
Yeah.
That's something, if you don't want to pay the expense of a licensed roofing contractor, that is something even a handyman can do.
And it'll make your roof last longer, so that you're not having, you don't have that 10-year, oh crap, I didn't expect to have this expense. Then you have it last longer. So some weather issues that could cause damage to our roofs. And we already talked about like broken branches and trees and debris, but rain, hail, hurricanes, all, because we're not looking just here in Phoenix. There's tons of different weather that can affect your roof.
Yes.
So what are those things that the damage that we can look for after, say, a big storm? How can we look for that, and how can we mediate that as soon as possible?
Yeah. So the first thing is to look outside and look on the ground if you see any type of roofing material. If you have a shingle roof, you could have blown shingles in your backyard or your neighbor's yard. A neighbor might come over and say, hey, I think this was yours. We get those calls every now and then. If you have a tile roof, typically you're not going to see anything on the ground. You can, but typically not. What happens is the wind gets up underneath it, picks it up and kind of scatters it around, and it comes back down and it's out of place, and it just kind of looks messed up.
Okay.
So that's harder to see, of course, if you can't see your roof from the ground. If you feel comfortable enough to get on the ladder safely, just peek your head up there and take a look. A lot of people have drones these days. Fly a drone around your roof.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, and take a look and see if you have any misplaced tiles.
Okay, so that's your number one indicator that something's wrong. Is like tiles that are not where they're supposed to be. Right,
because that word underlayment, right? That underlayment is your waterproofing, not your tile. So your tiles could be lifted up, but your underlayment is fine. And so you're not going to have a leak right away. But what happens is the sun deteriorates that underlayment, and now you're going to have a leak 6 months down the road.
So the underlayment protects your house,
Yes.
and the tiles protect the underlayment.
Absolutely.
You're like
100%.
multi-layered protection.
Now you can sell roofing.
I'll continue to sell houses,
Okay.
but thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah, anytime.
I'll just call you.
Yeah.
You need it. Okay, great. Yeah, I think because we have monsoons here in Arizona, and the last monsoon we had, those winds were crazy, and I was really scared. I was like, whoa, what kind of damage are we going to have? And we had trees falling over. And so knowing that, hey, that's a risk to your roof after a storm like that, obviously don't go out during the storm, but take a peek, see if there's something that you can fix. A couple of tiles for what? How much does that cost to fix a couple of tiles?
I would say
$350
Yep.
versus not doing that, and 2 years later you have to fix the underlayment, which is going to cost about what?
Well, if it's just that section, I mean, minimum $1,200.
Okay, so that's just a small section.
Yeah.
So you're looking at doing a quarter of the cost just to get up there, take a peek, and fix some shingles right away, versus putting that off and paying double or not double, I said quadruple.
The average tile roof right now is like $14,000.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's reusing your existing tile.
Right. And that's good. It's a good investment for your home. Obviously, we need those to have.
It is, but it's expensive, and you don't want to have to pay for that if you don't need to. If there's something that you can do to make it last longer, who wouldn't?
Right.
Who wouldn't do
and
that?
That's why we're doing this right now. Awesome. Okay. Anything else? That was all of my questions. What else would you like to make sure that these new home shoppers and new home owners know?
So the one thing that I would stress is when you are shopping for a new roof, there are multiple types of underlayments that you can get.
Okay.
And
so this is say we already own the home and we need to replace the home. Replace the roof.
Yeah, you're going to have to replace the roof for whatever reason, and or repair, or even if you're buying the roof, I would want to know this because it's going to indicate how long your roof is going to last.
Okay.
There's a newer type of underlayment that they call synthetic, and it's plastic. It kind of looks like a tarp with some fibers in it, fiber webbing. Is that the word I'm looking for?
I don't know.
Fiber webbing.
I couldn't tell you by looking at it.
Anyways, it's got like a fiber webbing inside the plastic tarp kind of thing. Anyways, you could tell I don't really like this type of underlayment. And it might be great in other parts of the country, but it is horrible in our hot climate.
Okay.
It's only lasting about 6 to 7 years. We're seeing failures all over the place with it. So I would not recommend that at all.
Are people going with it because it's cheaper on the front end?
Yes, and it's not that much cheaper. So 2 reasons. The contractors are pushing it because it's readily available, because it is not an asphalt product.
Okay.
It's plastic polymer product.
So they're saving time because of the shipments that they have to
Well, it's just easy. It's just easier.
Easier.
That's the word to put it. It's easier. They're not really saving anything. They are saving a little bit of money, and then the manufacturers are pushing it for incentives because they put a lot of money into developing this. Okay. But it's going to go away. I'm certain it'll, won't even be a factor in the next 10 years, but it is very much prevalent right now. It's all coming kind of to the surface. So I would 100% stay away from synthetic underlayments. Just do the tried and true felt.
Felt underlayment is what you're looking for. If it has synthetic, call Valorie.
Yes. Yes. And again, I'm happy to help, even if you're in another part of the country. If I can help you, I'm more than willing to answer some questions.
Yeah. Okay. That's great. Because I know that you've mentioned that a couple times in some meetings that I've heard you speak.
Yeah.
I don't know what's under my house.
Yeah, I don't either. You could have synthetic for the age.
Well, my house was built in 2007, so I feel like
no, you probably do.
I think it's probably lasted, so it's not that synthetic.
Yeah, I think you're right too.
Yeah. So
if it was 2007, 2014 is about the time frame where the track homes were getting the synthetic.
Yeah, so I might need to check my rental. My rental was built in 2019, so probably should check that out.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. See, we learn things.
Yeah.
I'm learning just as much as you guys are with all of these interviews.
Yeah,
It's been really fun.
I just felt has been around for hundreds of decades. Like hundreds of decades. That's not a correct sentence.
I mean, could
decades, maybe even centuries. But yeah, and it's lasted, and we know that it's good and it's not expensive.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like you're saving a lot of money on the synthetic to begin with.
Yeah, you
so
are not.
Why have to do it again in 6 to 7 years?
Yeah, don't do it.
And that's just an ordeal. Then you've got people on your roof, and it's not fun.
Well, and you're spending thousands of dollars.
I was like, even if you're okay with that, you're like every 7 years. I don't want to do that.
Yeah, I know that I'm in roofing, but I understand that kitchen remodels and bathroom remodels are a lot more fun than your roof. So.
And they bring you more return on your dollar.
They do.
It's so sad because the roof's one of the most important things, roofs and foundations.
Yeah, but unless you're a roofer, you don't ever notice your roof.
Right. And they don't bring you a return. People just expect it to be done well versus the kitchen and bathroom remodels that brings you double, triple.
So that's the goal here, is to get your money to last as long as possible so that you can have beautiful bathrooms.
You can do the kitchen and bathroom remodel.
And flooring.
Flooring. Super fun. We're going to have a construction, like a renovation episode too, eventually.
I'm in the middle of that right now.
Yeah. I mean, it's fun when it's done, but it's hard to live through.
Yeah. I'm living through the backyard right now, and the master bathroom is about to start.
Yeah. Well, good luck with that. Thanks. Let's jump into some of our questions that I ask everybody. Okay. What is the number one most frequently asked question that you get?
Okay. So the number one question that I get all the time is, do you do just repairs? A lot of times, for some reason, people think that roofing contractors will only want to do the entire roof. So yes, most of the time you can repair your roof. But again, if your roof is 25 years old and it has multiple leaks in multiple areas, unfortunately, no, you can't repair that. You're going to have to replace it because it's not a licensed roofing contractor.
He says, listen to her.
A licensed roofing contractor is held liable to the register of contractors. So if we touch it, we have to warranty it for 2 years. So if we can't warranty it for 2 years, we can't repair it. That's kind of the rule of thumb. So as long as the roof is in good enough condition, we can do a repair. Okay. So the answer is it depends on your roof and the amount of damage. Yes, but typically, yes. Yeah, yes. Absolutely. What is the number one question you wish people would ask you, but they don't? I think the number one question that I want people to ask me is, what would you do if you were me? Oh, okay. So put yourself in their shoes. Yeah. Okay. If you had my roof, or if this was your mother's roof or your grandmother's roof. So you care about. Yes. What would you do? What would you do? Okay. How would you handle it? Okay. Because I'm not going to rip off my grandma. No, or your kids. Right. I mean, I like my grandma. Yeah. Or your kids or whatever. Yeah. So that would be the number one question I think I wish people would ask. Anybody. And their salesperson, whoever's at their door selling them something, that would be their thing. Yeah. What would you do if you were me? Yeah. Okay. Of course you have to trust them. They're telling you the truth. True. Yes. Yeah. What did I write on my paper? Next question. What would be the difference between our market here in Phoenix versus a listener in another part of the country, which we kind of touched on that through our interview? So Phoenix has a hot climate, especially in the monsoon, where there's a 30-degree temperature swing that happens in seconds when a storm rolls in. So your roofing system is built with that understanding, because your home is going to expand and contract as the temperature expands and contracts. So your roofing underlayment, your roofing system has to be able to do that as well. It's actually like a living, breathing, organic material. So that's what's different from us than other parts of the country, even other parts of the state if you go up north, right? So they have ice and more water, right? So their roofing system is built differently than ours. So it's extremely important, especially if we get a big storm and out-of-state contractors come in, that you hire somebody that knows the climate and knows the system. We're even governed by different rules here than you are in other parts of the state. Okay. Because of our climate. Yeah. So that's good to know. Don't just, and a lot of, the people that I speak with say, hey, having somebody local that knows
what is specific to your area is so important, because there's these national companies that seem to be cheaper because they can do bulk or whatever, but they don't know what your house goes through day in, day out, weather changes, storms, all of that kind of stuff.
If I lived in Florida, I would not want to have an Arizona roofing contractor do my roof. In Florida, they have to secure every single piece of tile with foam. They're like gluing every piece of tile down. We don't do that here. Not even every piece of tile is fastened. Only the perimeter and so many. It's kind of a loose laid system. So if you hire me in Florida and my guys are going to do it the Arizona way, your roof is going to blow off when the hurricane comes, right? So
we don't want that.
No. Yeah. So hire a local company that's experienced for your climate.
Yes. And when they are hiring somebody, what are some good questions to ask them while you're interviewing a company?
So a lot of times people will say, I've been in roofing for 40 years. And that's maybe true. But how long has the company been in business? That's extremely important. You can kind of tell by their ROC number.
What's the ROC number?
So we have to be licensed by the Register of Contractors. So ROC stands for Register of Contractors.
Okay.
And when you get licensed and you pass the test and you qualify, they give you a number.
Okay.
A license number. Ours is like 06. I should know this by heart, but it's like 062117. That might be wrong, but
close enough.
Yeah, close enough. Somebody who's applying today is in the 400,000s.
Okay.
So that's how you can tell if it's a newer company or not. The second most important thing is their warranty. Ask them for a copy of their warranty for their exclusions. A warranty is only as good as the paper that it's written on. And if they have a lot of exclusions, then who cares if they're giving you a 50-year warranty? It doesn't cover anything.
If it doesn't cover wind damage.
Right, yeah. So look at their warranty. Ask to see it before you sign. Ask before you sign the contract.
Okay. Those are two really great, like easy questions and tips to ask.
And you can always go on the Register of Contractors website and put in their ROC number or do a contractor search.
Do they have like reviews and stuff on that? Or?
Not reviews, but you'll know if they have complaints and if they've been in trouble, if they've been disciplined.
So same thing with like real estate agents. They don't have reviews, but like it lists all of our disciplinary actions, like for the public to see.
Yeah. So. And if a contractor gets a disciplinary action on the registrar, it's not good. It's not good for real estate agents either. Good.
I mean, people make mistakes, but at the same time, like if you're seeing a lot of them, then that's a huge
and if you've been disciplined, then that means like you didn't take care of the mistake. Everybody makes a mistake. And then you're given the opportunity to correct the mistake. And then if you don't correct the mistake, then you're disciplined. And those rules change every time we get a new
commissioner or
politician in office. But those are the current rules out of 2022.
Okay. Well, that's really good advice. What's some fun industry jargon that we should know that we can sound really smart when we're talking to our roofer?
Oh, really? Okay. Well, scuppers. I always tell.
Oh, I don't know that.
I always tell the scupper story when I was brand new, doing roofing sales with my father, and I grew up doing this. Right? We're on the roof, and it's a flat roof, and I don't get where the leak is coming from. And my dad points up and says, "It's the scupper." I don't know what a scupper is, and so I said, "The what?" And he goes, "The scupper." And he points up, and I know what drip edge is, and I see drip edge, which is the metal edging on the roof. And I said, "The drip edge?" And he goes, "No, the scupper." And then the customer walks out, and I don't want to look like I don't know what I'm talking about, so I kind of stop. So the customer goes back inside, and I said, "Listen, I don't know what a scupper is." And so he takes he's not very patient, and he looks at it, and he says, "That square thing that's coming out of the wall to let the water come out is a scupper." And I said, "Well, if you don't tell, like how everybody knows what a scupper is."
A square thing coming out of the wall.
Yeah, so it's a flashing. It's a metal square flashing. It can be round, but typically they're square. And they come out of the wall, the parapet wall, off the roof. And it allows the water to flow off of the roof onto the ground. So on flat, it's usually on flat roofs. It can be on homes. If you have a flat roof on your home, it could be on your patio. Maybe you have a pitched roof, but your patio is flat. So it's just a square metal flashing that comes out through the wall.
and it's called
A scupper. Yes.
It reminds me of the Little Mermaid with Scuttle,
Oh,
and he
yes.
would like make up names, and so
Yeah.
I was waiting to see if it was actually
Yeah,
a made
a
up
dingle
name.
hopper.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So a scupper is a real thing.
It is a real thing.
And that way, when your roofer says the word,
you
know what it is.
What it is.
Yeah. I love that. What is the craziest story you can tell us from a day on your job?
I don't necessarily know that I have like a crazy, I've had crazy customers. I've been in some weird homes, but I don't really.
Nothing exciting. Boring days every day. You gotta have something.
We've had bobcats on the roof. Like you go up on a roof and there's a bobcat, like a little mom and her babies.
Oh, I would want to take one home.
Yeah, that's cute.
They're not good to take home, but I would want to.
Yeah. So this is Montgomery Wards, if you remember them.
I do.
Okay, so they were at the Arrowhead Mall, and they had the auto center, and they went out of business, and Sears bought them out.
Okay.
And so when we were evaluating the roof for the auto center, there was a full-blown tree growing on the roof.
A tree growing on the roof. So you mentioned cacti growing on the roof.
Yeah.
How does a plant grow on a roof?
They didn't do their maintenance, and they didn't get the dirt and debris off of the roof. So the wind blew a seed. It rained. Perfect environment. A tree grew. They still didn't do their maintenance, and the tree grew and grew and grew and grew.
Like how big was this tree?
Like it was like a baby tree, but it was a tree, like taller than me tree.
And you're tall. You're like 5'9".
Yeah. The trunk was little, but it was a honest to goodness tree growing on a roof.
Well, I hope you took pictures of that.
We did. And that was a while ago. So
it's not good for your roof, but it's probably pretty cool to see.
It was pre-self iPhones, and it was probably even pre-Blackberries.
Oh, Blackberries.
Yeah.
I never had a Crackberry.
You didn't? That was my first one. Was Crackberry.
I didn't have a Crackberry. I had my first was like, I think a razor flip.
Oh, like the LG chocolate thing.
I had a chocolate, I think, but my first, I think, was a flip, like, I don't know. They're back, the flip phones.
I know.
The flip phones are back.
By
but like
Motorola, right?
Yeah. Yeah, they're different, but mine always broke in half, so I didn't want to go there. All right. That was fun.
Yeah.
Valorie, tell everybody how they can reach you, whether they're in the area or not. Valorie can definitely help answer some questions.
Yeah, feel free to email me at val@jbsroofingaz.com, right there on the bottom of the screen.
Okay.
You can also go to our website. We have forms you can fill out where if you just want to ask a question or if you want a free estimate, you can also book your own appointment online for the Phoenix metro area.
Okay. And did you want to?
Oh, and phone number. Yeah. Feel free to call 623-247-9252. I do get a lot of spam sales calls. So make sure you mention that you heard it on the podcast so that I know to take the call. Yeah.
And we do get lots of spam calls. So just leave a voicemail. I know they're not very trendy to leave anymore.
Yeah.
But voicemails always will let us know that you're not a scammer.
Well, and that you're not trying to get me up on the Google, like you've reviewed my website.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've got those taken care of.
Yes.
Awesome. Well, thank you so very much. Please, when you do call, email, reach out, say that you heard her interview on the podcast so that she knows where you came from, and she'll take extra good care. She takes good care of all of her customers.
I do. I try my best.
I like to think she's going to do like extra VIP. Because she heard on the podcast, but she's she treats everybody.
I'll make sure I take care of it, and then I don't assign it to somebody else.
Okay, great. So you'll get Valorie personally.
Yeah,
that's a good incentive. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining me and giving such great quality content for our listeners. You guys, we're here to empower you. So give us a call. Let us know if we can help you. And if you have any questions. All right.
Yeah.
Thanks, Valorie.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right. We'll see you later. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Sunshine Hill Properties is proud to bring you the How to Be a Homeowner podcast. If you have more questions, ask them in the comment section. I will be featuring and answering them in upcoming episodes. If you like the show, leave a review and share it with a friend. Our goal is to help as many people as possible achieve their dreams, and your reviews help reach those people. If you are ready to build your bridge to homeownership, reach out to me at sunshinehillproperties.com to make an appointment for a call. No matter where you are in the country or on your journey, I'm ready to get you headed in the right direction with a free consultation. Interested in finding a trusted service provider in your area or partnering with HOA.com as a service professional? Go to HOA.com/Ashley. Are you an agent? Great. I am growing my team in states across the country. Let's schedule a call to see if we need an agent to cover your area. Visit sunshinehillproperties.com. Want a career in real estate? You're not an agent yet, but you still want a career? That's still wonderful. I'd love to talk to you about training with me or one of my team members. Contact us at, you guessed it, sunshinehillproperties.com. I have to shout out our amazing post-production team. Thank you, Space Dream Productions, for doing every bit of post-production. I truly could not have made this show happen without you. And last but not least, if you don't want to miss a thing, be sure to subscribe to us now on the How to Be a Homeowner podcast.